How's it going, folks? Nick here with the Chayote Permaculture vlog. The garden cat, my co-star, is just behind me. Not sure exactly what he's doing. It's a little bit wet right now, so I'm actually going to get up quickly so I don't have to sit in this wet so long. I didn't get to a vlog last week just because I was so busy. There's a lot going on in my life right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of an update about that during this vlog here, and I'll show you a little bit of what I've gotten to in the spare time that I have had around here. Oh, check this out. Let's get started. Mama and two of the chicks are out. Hey guys, let's go back in. Come on, keep going. There you go. Keep going. Keep going. So these guys keep getting out in the morning because they've learned. Go ahead, keep going, Mama. Keep going. They've learned how to get up and over this. So I don't really stop them too much because it's all right if they get out a little bit. Oop. And check out this one. This one right here. This is the one that is that's Henry's offspring. This dark one. You see that? But she's got that kind of brown coming in from the rooster too. I'm holding these guys together just so they feel a little safer. But yeah, this one's beautiful. I'm really excited to see how. Hopefully this is a hen. I think it's going to be a hen, and so we can keep her. Hopefully. These guys are just antsy for me to give them some food. You can see they still have a little bit left there, but they want me to refill it, but I'll do that in just a second. Quick update to you guys about this is that guy right there, that is a rooster. I've actually watched that rooster mount Henry, and Henry just sat for him. So kind of weird, Henry, but that's chickens, I suppose. Mainly that means, honestly, that one's the dumbest one, or dumbest I call him, because he takes the longest to try to get up into the coop. The other night I sat here for about 8 minutes watching him try to get up there. It's kind of sad actually to watch after some time. You're like, come on guy, just go up. But he gets especially picked on because he's a little rooster, right? So, and I'm sure that the chickens here understand that and know how to recognize that, right? So he probably gets picked on because he's a rooster, and our rooster doesn't want another rooster around. So yeah, that's how you live if you're going to be a rooster here. You know, that's what happens.
There you go.
Anyway, other than losing a mama, the rest of these chickens are good. That was last vlog. I'll leave that linked above. I think I talked about that last vlog, so you guys can check it out. It's just a little bit of a sad story, but no big deal. You know, it's just part of life on the homestead. Here's Otto enjoying himself. Good boy. You're a good boy. All right, guys. Well, this is gonna be a kind of quick one because I gotta get to work, and I got so much going on in my life right now, so I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update on that, just so you understand, and also so you know where I am and what's going on with me. So I learned last week that my mom, who's been living here for 8 years, I think, 6 to 8 years, I think, something like that. I learned that she had been offered senior housing up. Most of my family's in Cape Cod, right? So she was offered senior housing in Cape Cod, and she had been offered it before, and it wasn't quite the right fit, so she didn't take it. But this one, she had a feeling it might be the right one, so she went up and took a look at it and decided she's going to move in. But she has to move in within like a month or something like that. So literally, she flew up, signed the lease, flew back down here. We have 3 weeks to pack her, really less than 3 weeks now, like more like 2.5 weeks now to pack her all up, ship everything that she wants to ship, and then I take her to the airport on the 3rd or something like that. So mom's moving away. So you know it's bittersweet for both her and for us. You know, it's she loves it here, and we love having her right next door, but she doesn't get to be near the rest of the family, which is really good right now. Really good built, you know, just to see more family, and she'll be able to see more family at once rather than just, you know, me and Katie. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah. And then Katie and I are actually going to be moving from the house here, which is the house we've been living in, to Mom's house right next door. So we're going to be moving too. So I'm telling you this right now, guys, it's going to be a hectic couple of months. So I'm going to do my best to keep doing a weekly vlog, but there might be instances like this past week where I just simply don't have time or energy to get around to the vlog. And that's, again, not going to be long term. It's just until I can get everything kind of settled in. We get mom moved, we move in there, we do whatever fixing up we need to do with the house to move in, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot going on, and that's on top of me working now 30-40 hours a week. So I'm just trying to balance my whole life, and it might get a little tough for a couple weeks, especially as we get closer to mom leaving. So just want to give you that update. just so you're aware and know what's happening with me. So that's what's going on. Other than that, though, things back here are going really, really well. We've been doing lots of tomato harvest. Actually, we got 3 or 4 so far, and you can see there's another one right on. A whole bunch of them in here. I actually came through and I pruned this back the other day. So I basically just cut out in the middle. I just kind of opened up airflow in the middle there, especially right in the center of the whole kind of tomato clump, because that's really where it was kind of getting way too bushy and overgrown. After that, I was actually able to see the base layer again. So I cut back all the basil that's down here to see if I can get that to resprout a little bit lower and keep growing. So that's what I did over here in this little spot. All the Asian greens here, they're reaching the end of their lifetime, but they still seem to be growing, so I just kind of keep letting them grow until they stop, and then that'll be replaced, or just put some compost down and let the tomatoes finish up before we replace the whole garden. So yeah, really great to have tomatoes, fresh tomatoes on a daily basis at this point. That's really exciting for us. Right down here, I got the fish. And the pond is doing really well. You can actually see the fishes are just swimming all over the place in here. And this pond is actually extremely clear. Now we do have some more algae growth in there. I'm gonna probably have to manage that soon. And this is something I'm just learning as I'm going, because I haven't actually managed a little pond system yet. So I'm literally learning as I go. So I'm observing what's happening every day. I'm taking note. Right now, what I've noticed is that this pond is like the most clear it's been so far. It's like crystal clear from the top to bottom. You can see everything that's happening in there, which is really cool to see. I mean, just personally, I didn't think we'd actually get that clear that quickly, so I'm really happy to see that. But the fish seem to be being super happy. I see dragonflies now coming here, and they've been laying their little larvae or eggs into the water, so we should have more dragonflies coming up soon. There's these little weird diving beetles that I think they're diving beetles. They kind of come up to the surface, drink, and then they dive right back down to the bottom, and then they come up to the surface and drink and dive right back down. So there's a whole ecosystem in there that I didn't really start. I just kind of put the fish in. I'm sure some of those other critters were in there with the kind of the starting kind of material that I put in there with them, but otherwise they just kind of, they find it. They find what's here, and they find little ecosystems that they like to live in, and then they populate them. So I'd actually cleared the fence line for the first time since I've been here. So it's super clean. It's right along here. So you can see this is the chicken area, right? This is the chickens, the mamas and them are right down there, right? So just the other day I had a very similar situation, just me over here looking at them. They're all kind of pruning themselves or preening themselves or cleaning, whatever you want to call it. And I have a nice little shot of just the fence line, freshly cut. But you can see here, right along the fence, I actually had the chicken wire because the chicks could still fit through the fence. I thought that they were a little bit big enough and they wouldn't quite fit through there. That's why I came through and did that clean. But you can see all the way down, nice and clean on the fence line, which is just so happy for me to see. I like to be able to access the fence line at all times. And also the main reason I did that was because the chayote I have growing, which is a Choko perennial vine, and the kind of squash-ish family, that vine is actually starting to really spread out along the fence line. So instead of having that kind of scramble all over the place, I actually have it growing right here on the fence line. And you can see right here, this is a chayote right there. That's the fruit or the vegetable, whatever it's called. I think it's a vegetable of some sort. There's one, there's another one right there. So this thing's going crazy, and look, it's going all the way. Right now, the leading tip is actually way up here. So it's almost halfway up the chicken pen already. And I had a couple of these leaders going off and into like the forest that way. So when I cleared off the other side, I actually was able to reposition them onto the fence line, so they can actually grow and I can maintain them a little bit better. But it's really cool to see. I mean, this thing is booming. It's going, there's already 2 or 3 chayotes up that way. I know there's at least one down here that's a little bit more mature. You can see it's all over the fence line here. And then this one right down here, it started as a baby, but it's now getting to the point where it's getting kind of big. You see that? So I believe it's still going to be a couple weeks before it's fully ready. And I honestly, to be completely honest with you guys, I have no idea when to actually pick these things. I don't know. I've never grown these. I believe they turn green. At least that's what I've been reading. But so far, I've only seen the white ones. That must be their immature color. I hope that's what I'm guessing. I don't know that though. So I'm just watching it. We'll see what happens. If it falls off, I know it's ready. And if that's the case, I would just use that for a new vine. So With these guys, you don't actually take the seeds out and start them. You actually plant the entire fruit, the entire vegetable, the entire actual product of that flower. You plant that in the ground, and that's what sprouts, because in that thing you can't separate the seed from the fruit, and if you do, it won't grow. So you have to use the whole fruit, lay it down, let that start sprouting, and that's how you get your new one. So if you're growing those, that's the trick. Other than that, we just have a nice rack of plantains up here. They're doing really well. Super happy to see that. Obviously, we have lots of other stuff going on in here. Beans all over the place in here. Still waiting on my winged beans down there to fully get ripe, so I can pick those and use those for seeds. So I'm actually not eating those ones. Those ones are going to be for the next generation of vine, because those are the first ones to pop up quickly, and that's the kind of production kind of genetics that I want. I want the ones that go up and produce quickly. That's what I'm looking for. All right, last little bit of an update. Basically right down here in this bed that I've been kind of slowly turning into, we're finally actually getting some decent growth and production in here. I actually had to go through and thin out this weekend, so I did that. I went through, and all that all the arugula that I planted, I always plant obviously way more than I need, because then I can go through and thin everything and get arugula sprouts. And that's a product for me. It's both a harvest, a yield, and it also helps spread out the actual plants enough so that they aren't overcrowded. They can actually express their full size the whole time. So after I came through and thinned everything out, it seemed like everything was a little bit sad, but then the next day or two, and then right now you can see everything is just getting much bigger. They're able to spread out a little bit more. They seem much healthier. Everything's super green. They're not overstressed. And then the bed up here, same thing, arugula in the front there, but there's also a bunch of radish spread out there, and you can see the radish is really taking over space. That's what the most of the thing you see up there is. And there's also a couple little chilies, some local chilies that do really well. So ají dulce, it's like a little sweet pepper. And those guys are also doing pretty well up there. I've seen them boom in the last few days. So I'm really happy to see that. I've had to tie these guys up right here. This is like non-stop growth. You can literally see my tie right here. It's around there and tied up because it keeps falling over and falling over. This Asian green that I got from Baker Creek, I highly recommend it, at least in my my rainforest tropical climate. It has been doing so much production for me. So far it's produced all year. Yeah, I think it's been just about a year, maybe a little bit less than a year, but it's still producing and still going real strong. So it's something I highly recommend. Look at this cat. He's just chilling. Good boy. Good boy. He's sweet. Yeah, good boy. He's sleepy this morning. Must be all this rain. It's the first day we've really had any sort of rain in the morning and everything. So one last little thing to show you guys. I'd shown you before the pineapple flower when I was flowering fully. And now you can see here, we have our first little pineapple coming on. This is the first pineapple on the homestead. This thing I planted, I think, just after we moved here, maybe a month or two after. I put it in this little side bank here, and there you go. We got a pineapple. Who knows if it'll go to full fruition. This will be the first one that this produces. So typically the first flush of fruit tends to be either smaller or doesn't quite go all the way, and that's okay. But I'm hopeful that we'll get some sort of pineapple there. It'd be really nice to have some pineapple from the backyard, you know. Of course, we also got the papayas coming on here, right here. And I actually noticed the other day that one of my papaya trees that I thought was a male actually seems to be thinking about producing a fruit. Let's see if that, yeah, let's check this out. Let me show you guys this. This is really cool. So these flowers right here, see how they're kind of sticking out a little bit? They're further away from the stem than right up against it, like the other flowers that I've seen up there. The females, they usually go right up against the stem. Like instead of coming out like this, they just kind of stay right at the edge there. But I do know that papayas can be hermaphroditic, which means they can express both genes on the same tree. So I was watching that and I saw this. Check this out. This right here, I believe, is a papaya. Now, this is one of the kinds. It's a long kind. Instead of being like round and fat, it's more long and skinny. But these guys are well known, and I believe I had some seeds for that I threw out back here at some point. But I believe this right here is actually a papaya. And that's coming from a flower stalk that looks, that comes from a flower stalk that looks just like that. It was that center flower that got pollinated right from this little male, it looks like a male cluster of flowers, but it was that center first one. It would have been right there is the one that would have gotten pollinated. This one, either it fell off or it didn't have it. But you can see that right there. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and let you guys know what's going on and what I find as we go a little bit further. But I do believe that's a papaya. And that's the first time I've ever seen the papaya growing on a flower that looks more like a male flower to me. The male flowers, let's see, there's a good example. I actually do have a good example for once for you. So the male flowers, that's what they look like. You see how they're kind of stalked far away from the stem. They kind of come way off. Look at that one. It goes all the way out there, and then the flowers are way out here. So that's usually what the typical male papaya flower looks like. It's far away, right? So the one that we saw over here, right there, you can see the little mini fruit coming off right there. But you can see they're closer, but they are still a little bit far away. They're kind of coming off from the stem a little bit. So it's kind of interesting. I'm still kind of learning how to read that and see what that means. So I'm still learning papayas fully here. They're kind of an odd tree. But they are really productive, high shade, no branches, something that I love to have in the garden. So definitely something I want to have, and I'm glad it's growing. But yeah, so I'll keep you updated as I learn more, because yeah, it is really just all about learning and seeing how it works in reality versus what I've read online and all that kind of stuff. So. All right, folks, that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do bear with me in the next few weeks. I may be a little bit less active on here, but I will be back strong once we get everything kind of moving and going in the other house and get mom all moved out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing, not back here, I'm actually working for the Jeff Lawden online permaculture design course. If you're thinking about taking a permaculture design course, or that's on your kind of to-do list at some point, consider joining. It's still open for enrollment. I'll leave the link below. It's actually an affiliate link, so if you sign up to the course using that link, I'll actually get a little bit of a kickback, a little commission, right? So it helps just maintain this channel for me to buy equipment and everything to make and produce these videos. So I'll leave that link below. Just in case you say, it's, in my opinion, one of the best permaculture design courses out there. I think it's the best, but again, I haven't taken too many of them, but it's so in-depth. It follows the permaculture designer's manual like to the T, and if it's something that you're interested in learning, you want to dive deep into permaculture knowledge, this is the best course for you, I think, personally. So, and you'll get to see me. I'll be interacting in there with you. I'm helping kind of lead that whole course and the teaching assistants and all that kind of stuff. So really excited to be a part of that journey and part of that team, and that's where I spend a lot of my time these days. So hope you all have a great week and have a great day, and thanks for watching and thanks for understanding where I'm at. Please do subscribe and like the videos, share the videos that you see that you think could be helpful to one of your community members or anything like that. I'd love to see those shared, and really appreciate you guys for doing that. So hope you're all doing well, and until next time, have a good one.